When people think of New York, they picture bright lights, million-dollar apartments, and pizza so good it could end wars. But let's be honest, not every corner of the Empire State is living that dream. Some towns here make you wonder if the GPS accidentally took you into a zombie movie. These are the kinds of places where dreams don't come true. They just pack up and move to New Jersey. You've got streets that look like they gave up, job markets that never even started, and crime rates that could use their own zip code. So buckle up, because we're counting down 10 towns in New York you should never move to, unless you enjoy high crime, potholes, and neighbors who steal your lawn chairs. Let's start with number 10. And hey, if you enjoy a good laugh while learning where not to move, you're in the right place. Click on the subscribe button as we move to number 10. Number 10, Jamestown. Jamestown, the town that sounds historic but lives like it's allergic to progress. Located down in Chautauqua County, this little corner of western New York is where dreams come to sit on the porch and smoke disappointment. They say Jamestown is the Pearl City. Yeah, if the pearl fell into a sewer and nobody bothered to fish it out. Walk through downtown and you'll find a lovely combination of closed forever signs and buildings that look like they're one wind gust away from retirement. The local economy? Let's just say if hard times were currency, everyone here would be rich. You could open a lemonade stand in Jamestown and still end up in debt. And that's if people don't steal your lemons first. The crime rate here is something else. It's like they're auditioning for a Grand Theft Auto spinoff called GTA, Western New York. You can't even trust a parking meter not to rob you. And if you're thinking of dating in Jamestown, forget it. Your choices are someone who's related to your coworker or your coworker. Either way, heartbreak comes free with every rent payment. Jamestown's motto should be, come for the cheap housing, stay because your car broke down and you can't leave. Number 9, Troy. Troy, the city that somehow manages to make historic charm feel like a threat. It's just north of Albany, and if you listen closely, you can hear the faint echo of people saying, I swear it wasn't this bad when I moved here. Troy's the kind of place that looks like it was designed for a college brochure, but somebody forgot to update the reality after 1985. The crime? Let's just say Troy's police scanners get more action than Netflix. You can't even order a pizza without wondering if the delivery driver is going to need backup. It's got that special kind of chaos where one street looks totally normal and the next looks like the end of civilization. The local slogan should just be, good luck, you'll need it. Then there's the economy. You know it's rough when half the businesses downtown are vape shops, pawn shops, or for lease signs pretending to be art installations. Troy's the only place where you can buy a used TV, get your phone repaired, and watch a fight, all without crossing the street. If you ever need to explain the word struggle to someone, just show them a picture of Troy at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday. The people are tough, though. You have to be when potholes are deep enough to have their own zip code. Troy's tagline could be, where history lives, mostly because nobody can afford to move out. Number 8, Elmira. Elmira, the kind of town that makes you question every decision you've ever made. You don't move to Elmira on purpose. You just wake up one day and realize life got tired of your attitude. This place is famous for two things, prison and regret. Even Mark Twain lived here once, and the man literally invented tragic endings, and still said, yeah, I am out. You know a city's struggling when its best attraction is history. Elmira's tourism slogan should just say, we used to matter. The downtown area looks like a scene from a zombie movie where the zombies gave up too. You walk past buildings that look like they've seen too much, like if walls could talk, they'd just sigh. The job market? Let's just say if you find a help wanted sign, it's probably from the last century. Most businesses here didn't close. They just quietly disappeared, like your motivation after moving in. People say Elmira is affordable. And sure, it is because no one's fighting you for property that comes with raccoons and sadness. Crime in Elmira is so casual. It feels personal. It's the kind of place where your car doesn't get stolen. It just relocates without permission. The police scanner might as well be background music. You hear it so often it becomes part of the soundtrack of daily life. Even the streetlights flicker like they're scared to be on duty. And the nightlife? Oh, it exists. Somewhere between a gas station and your bad decisions. The bars close early, Probably because even the bartenders can't stay awake here. If excitement were currency, Elmira would be bankrupt. Elmira is the kind of place that doesn't just drain your wallet, it drains your will to try. You don't need therapy if you live here. The city is therapy because it teaches you acceptance. The town motto should be Elmira, because someone has to be the cautionary tale. Number 7, Utica. Utica, the city where optimism comes to take a nap. Located smack in the middle of New York State. It's like someone looked at Syracuse and said, what if we made it sadder? Utica tries really hard to sound important. They'll tell you about their famous Utica greens, but what they don't tell you is that's the only green thing you'll see for miles. Utica's economy runs on broken dreams and Dunkin' Donuts coffee. The job market? It's like a game of musical chairs, except there's one chair, and it's missing a leg. You can graduate college here and still end up asking your old high school teacher for career advice. It's that bad. And the roads, my God. Driving in Utica feels like an off-road adventure nobody asked for. You don't need a car, you need a tank. Every pothole is deep enough to hide government secrets. They should honestly start charging admission for the experience. Utica nightlife? Sure, if you count raccoons fighting over a pizza box as nightlife. It's one of those towns where the most exciting thing to do is leave. The crime rate's high, the morale's low, and the city slogan might as well be, Utica, where your GPS says good luck. And don't let the locals fool you with that we're rebuilding talk. Utica's been rebuilding longer than some people have been alive. It's like watching someone glue back together a broken vase with toothpaste. Ambitious, but pointless. Every new business opens with hope and closes with a for lease sign that's now part of the landscape. Utica's spirit isn't dead. It's just on a very long coffee break. Number 6, Binghamton. Binghamton, the town that once had dreams, but those dreams left for Syracuse and never came back. This is the kind of place where hope shows up late, takes one look around, and says, yeah, I am good. They call it the parlor city, but if you've ever been here, you know it feels more like the waiting room for bad life decisions. Once upon a time, Binghamton was booming. Factories, innovation, real jobs. Now, you're lucky if your Uber driver isn't also your landlord. It's like the city collectively said, what if we just gave up forever? The downtown area has that charming mix of abandoned buildings and vape shops that scream, we've stopped pretending. The weather here is basically a cry for help. It rains so much that even the clouds are depressed. You can't tell if it's fog or just the town's spirit leaving its body. And when the sun does show up, the locals treat it like a celebrity sighting. Oh my God, Light. Quick, take a picture before it's gone. The crime? Let's just say Binghamton's idea of community involvement is everyone watching someone steal a shopping cart and no one doing anything about it. You could walk down the street and get offered a business opportunity that's definitely not legal, but probably more profitable than anything else in town. They keep talking about revitalization, but that word's been thrown around so many times it's basically a drinking game now. The city motto should be, Binghamton, come for college, stay because your car won't start. Hold up, you've made it this far? You've listened to me roast 5 New York towns straight, and you're still here? Oh, you definitely owe me a subscribe for that. Don't even argue. It's the least you can do after surviving Binghamton. Go on, click that subscribe button. I'll wait. Seriously, I am not saying another word until you do. Alright, you done? Good. Let's get back to the disasters, starting with number 5. Number 5, Niagara Falls. Ah yes, Niagara Falls, the place everyone visits once, takes a selfie, and then thanks God they don't actually live there. The falls themselves are majestic, sure, but take 3 steps away from that tourist area, and it's like you've walked into the deleted scenes of The Walking Dead. The mist from the falls doesn't hide the poverty. It just gives it that cinematic glow. The city lives off tourism, which sounds nice until you realize that means the locals are basically unpaid extras in other people's vacations. Everything around the falls looks glamorous, but then you turn a corner and it's like, oh, that's where the dreams went to drown. The local economy depends on tourists buying fridge magnets, because there sure aren't any new jobs coming. And let's talk crime. Niagara Falls has so much of it. The cops should start offering frequent flyer miles. You could be enjoying the view 1 second and get pickpocketed by someone who says, "Welcome to the falls," while they do it. Locals joke that the safest thing in the city is the actual waterfall. At least that's consistent. The infrastructure looks like it's been surviving off duct tape and prayer since the 80s. You can tell a lot about a place by its potholes. And here, they're deep enough to time travel. Niagara Falls is like a bad relationship. Looks amazing in pictures, but you'll regret moving in. And the nightlife? Oh, it exists. If you consider flickering streetlights and raccoons fighting over pizza crusts a night out. The bars close early, the streets empty fast, and by 9 p.m. you start hearing things that make you wish you stayed at the tourist hotel. Niagara Falls, with a sound of rushing water, is the city crying for help. City motto suggestion, Niagara Falls, where the water's not the only thing going downhill. Number 4, Mount Vernon. Welcome to Mount Vernon, where New York City's problems go to retire. It's technically close to the Big Apple, but once you get there, you realize it's more like the rotten part of the fruit nobody wants to eat. Mount Vernon has that special mix of chaos and confusion that makes you question if it's even governed by humans. They say location is everything. And sure, Mount Vernon sits right next to the Bronx. But instead of soaking up NYC's energy, it feels like it just borrowed all its noise, crime, and traffic and forgot to take any of the good stuff. The place is so mismanaged, it makes Congress look organized. Every mayor here seems to last about as long as a carton of milk before something scandalous happens. The crime rate's high enough to need its own soundtrack. You can hear sirens like background music. It's basically the city's national anthem. Walking around Mount Vernon feels like playing a live-action version of Don't Get Got. You look both ways before crossing the street, and then look again just to make sure your wallet's still there. Let's not forget the roads. Potholes, broken streetlights, garbage piles. It's like the city planners just said, let's make every drive feel like an obstacle course. Even the GPS sounds tired when you put in a Mount Vernon address. In 200 feet, turn right, if you still have tires. And don't even mention the rent. They're charging Manhattan prices for an environment that looks like a post-apocalyptic movie set. It's one of those places where you pay high rent and still get a free bonus of daily stress. Mount Vernon's slogan should be, close to Manhattan, far from functional. It's got potential, sure, but so does expired milk if you squint hard enough. Number 3, Rochester. Rochester, the city that once gave us Kodak, Xerox, and the American dream, and then apparently hit delete all files. This place used to be an industrial powerhouse. Now, it's mostly a historical exhibit titled, What Went Wrong? Walking through downtown Rochester feels like scrolling through your camera roll, full of memories, none of them recent. Let's start with the weather. Rochester doesn't have seasons. It has stages of suffering. It snows for 8 months, rains for 3, and the 1 month of sunshine is just there to trick you into staying. People don't check the forecast. They just assume it's miserable and dress accordingly. Local fashion, hoodies, boots, and depression. The city's crime rate could have its own reality show, Law and Order, every street. You can't even walk your dog without worrying it might get mugged for its leash. The cops here deserve hazard pay and therapy. There are neighborhoods where you don't even get mail delivery, not because of budget cuts, but because even the mailman said, nah, I am good. Economically, Rochester is like your old laptop, technically still running, but mostly out of nostalgia. Most of the jobs left when Kodak did, and now the city survives off hope, caffeine, and whatever's left of the university budget. If you tell someone you live in Rochester, they'll look at you like you just admitted to living in a haunted house. But the nightlife, oh boy, it exists in the same way ghosts exist. You hear about it, but you never actually see it. Half the bars close early, and the ones that stay open look like they were decorated by a guy who lost a bet. The highlight of Friday night might be a gas station argument over the last pack of cigarettes. The roads? Think of the moon's surface. Now add traffic lights that never sink and drivers who believe turn signals are optional. Every trip feels like an endurance test for your car and your sanity. Rochester's city slogan should be, where dreams go to get frostbite. It's got heart, sure, but that heart's been through 3 divorces, a foreclosure, and still can't find a decent parking spot. Number 2, Buffalo. Buffalo, the city that sounds like it should be strong and majestic, but instead feels like it's been punched by the weather repeatedly. This is where winter isn't a season. It's a full-time job. Buffalo gets so much snow, they should rename it Blizzarfo. Forget 4 seasons. Buffalo has 2. Snow and construction caused by snow. They brag about their buffalo wings, but let's be honest, that's the only thing still flying around here. You eat the wings to distract yourself from the fact that you haven't seen sunlight since Halloween. People here don't shovel driveways. They dig archaeological sites every morning. You can tell how long someone's lived in Buffalo by how dead their soul looks every February. And the football team? Oh, the Bills. The only thing more depressing than Buffalo's economy is watching their fans say, "This year's our year." Every single year since the 90s. Those poor people tailgate in snowstorms like they're auditioning for a survival show. They call it Bills Mafia, but it's really just a support group for chronic disappointment. Let's talk about the city itself. Buffalo looks like it's been under renovation since the invention of concrete. You've got beautiful old buildings surrounded by parking lots, boarded up shops, and dreams that gave up halfway through. You can tell the economy's rough when now hiring signs start to look like motivational posters instead of real opportunities. And don't get me started on the nightlife. Buffalo nightlife is like dating someone who says, "I am fun, I promise," but spends the evening talking about their ex. You've got dive bars, louder dive bars, and a few clubs where the highlight of the night is not slipping on black ice outside. The only thing hot in Buffalo after midnight is the radiator in your apartment, if it works. Crime? Yeah, it's there, not outrageous, but enough to keep you looking over your shoulder while you scrape ice off your car. Buffalo's got that weird mix of friendly people and lock your doors anyway energy. It's like the city wants to hug you, but might also rob you during the hug. And the wind. My God, the wind in Buffalo has no mercy. It's like nature's way of slapping you just for existing. You can dress in 5 layers, step outside, and immediately regret every life choice that led you there. Locals don't say good morning, they say still alive. Buffalo's unofficial slogan should be, "Come for the wings, stay because your car's frozen to the street." It's gritty, it's stubborn, and it's freezing. Basically, it's New York's version of a bad marriage that somehow still works because nobody wants to move. Number 1, Newburgh. Ladies and gentlemen, we've made it. Number 1, the crown jewel of chaos. The Florida of New York. Welcome to Newburgh, the city so rough even Google Street View cars refuse to drive through. They got halfway down the block and said, "Nah, blur it all." Newburgh isn't just bad. It's like the universe played SimCity on nightmare mode and then forgot to save. Every street here tells a story, and none of them end well. If cities were phone batteries, Newburgh would be the one stuck at 1% and refusing charge. Let's start with the crime rate, because in Newburgh, that's not a statistic, it's a lifestyle. You don't check crime reports here, you survive them. The cops in Newburgh deserve medals, therapy, and maybe a backup planet to live on. There are neighborhoods where even your shadow is afraid to follow you. Locals don't say good morning. They say, "Still got your wallet?" And the housing situation? Oh, it's affordable, all right, mostly because nobody wants it. You could buy a house here for the price of a used bicycle, but that's because the house already comes with ghosts, bullet holes, and an eviction notice from 2007. Realtors in Newburgh deserve Oscars for calling it up and coming. Up and coming where exactly? Heaven? The downtown area looks like it's been in a fight and lost. Every store seems to be either coming soon or closed forever. You'll find a barber shop next to a bail bonds office next to a church, which is convenient. You can get a lineup, a loan, and forgiveness all in one trip. The nightlife? Let's just say Newburgh goes dark for 2 reasons. The sun goes down, and the power cuts out. There are bars, sure, but the bravest thing you can do here after midnight is walk outside and hope the streetlights feel generous. If you can make it from one end of town to the other without a "what was that noise" moment, you deserve citizenship somewhere safer. Even the GPS gets nervous when you enter the city limits. In 100 feet, turn left. Actually, you know what? Just go home. Delivery drivers treat Newburgh like a game of Minesweeper. You either get your food or your last text message. And the locals? Bless their hearts. They're tough, loyal, and way too used to nonsense. Living in Newburgh is basically an Olympic sport of endurance. It's the kind of place where people say, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, and they're not kidding, because anywhere else feels like heaven after this. City slogan suggestion, Newburgh, because somebody has to be number one. And that's it. 10 New York towns you should avoid like expired milk. If your city made the list, my bad, but also you kinda knew. Hold up. You laughed at least twice, didn't you? Don't lie. If you did, you officially owe me a subscribe. It's the law now. Go ahead, hit that button before I call out your hometown next week. Don't test me. I will find it. And if you already subscribed, you're safe. You're family now. I am the Urban Lens. Thanks for watching, and remember, if your town didn't make this list, just wait. It probably will.